Could the Houston Texans have a top 3 offense in 2024? One of the best NFL analysts believes so, and so do I. Let's hear from him, and I'll tell you why the Texans could absolutely find themselves in the top 3 when it comes to offensive production. That analyst is Daniel Jeremiah, the foremost expert when it comes to the NFL draft. He joined Rich Eisen and had plenty of nice things to say about the Houston Texans. It starts with Rich asking if DJ's buying the hype.
What do you think of the Texans' hype right now, Daniel?
Well, I mean, yeah, they've shown it already. So my thing is, the scary part about the Texans is Tank Dell stays healthy. You've now, if you can get him through a full 17, and now you incorporate Stefon Diggs, and you just get a normal jump, from year 1 to year 2 with CJ Stroud, and then okay, we've got a chance. We talk about a top 3 offense in the NFL. They've got that type of capabilities. I mean, I don't know if we give enough hyper attention to what the guy on the screen did last year, but that was incredible what Stroud did. And I thought the way that they broke him in was so smart, where they came out, overdid it a little the first 2 games, pulled the reins back for a handful of weeks, let him get his feet underneath him, let him get comfortable. And then it was just a rocket ship the way he took off and the way.
All right, so DJ laid it out there for you. A couple of the different ways it starts to get even better on offense for the Houston Texans. I mean, look, the best offense in all of football last year was the Miami Dolphins. They were fantastic on the ground. They were the best passing offense in all of football. And that's a similar style of offense. It's an offshoot of the Shanahan tree, though Mike McDaniel's a bit more aggressive than what Bobby Slowick has shown in his time as a play caller and an offensive mastermind, if you will. So you're going to have to get some acceleration, but when you've added a guy like Stefon Diggs, when you hopefully have Tank Dell healthy for an entire season, when Nico Collins is even deeper into the playbook and the rushing attack gets better, it starts to all kind of get put together. So let's start with the passing aspect of it. The Texans already were 7th in passing last year behind the Dolphins, Lions, and Cowboys, who were the top 3. Now, again, to get in the top 3, the Texans have to go about 14, 15 more yards per game. If they go about 20 more yards per game, that'd be the best passing offense in all of football. The Dolphins had 265.5. The Texans had 245.5. So 20 more yards per game passing, and the Texans find themselves with the top passing offense in football based off of last year's production at the position. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, CJ Stroud, this improved offense, 20 additional yards passing doesn't feel like it's that crazy. And it doesn't. It's not. And you also have to think about this too. They had some down games from a passing standpoint last year. Not only is the talent better, but I have to imagine games like the Carolina Panthers game, games like the Jets game where they just looked totally discombobulated. And obviously Tennessee wasn't the most impressive passing game as well. The Browns game was really bad from a passing standpoint. Like, you're going to have some duds over the course of the season, but the duds will look even better if Stroud is A, healthy, and B, taking that leap like Daniel Jeremiah talked about, like most of us believe he will. It's funny how none of us believe the quarterback's going to get worse season to season. They're always going to get better. And look, I believe in CJ Stroud, and I do believe he's going to be even better. So a quick minute for my friends at Platinum AC and Heating. Hey, we're talking about the top 3. You know what the top 3 things they do are? Is take care of your AC, don't cost you a lot of money, and do it with the best service in town. That's the top 3 things you need to know about Platinum AC and Heating. It doesn't cost you a bunch of cold, hard cash to stay cold with your AC, because Platinum AC and Heating has the best prices in town. Dwyane has the best service in town. 5-star rated by the Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Google reviews as well. 5-star rated all around. Dwyane does the best. It's the best prices in town. It's the best service in town. And whatever you need is what they can take care of. They can handle it all with their decades of experience in HVAC. They can handle it from repairs to replacements to tune-ups. That's right. Just a little tune-up. Have that AC running well for the summer. Not working as hard, blowing colder air, saving you money, and keeping you chilled out all summer long. That's what Platinum AC and Heating can achieve for you. Give them a call today, 832-777-3683. Dwyane ain't going to let you sit in a hot house, so give them a call today at Platinum AC and Heating. You can see how that passing attack jumps up. It gets maybe 15 yards better per game, And all of a sudden, they're right there as one of the top 2, top 3 passing attacks in all of the NFL. That would go a long way into getting them in there. But the way that they're going to be a top 3 offense is by running the football better. Okay, we talked about 20 additional yards for the passing attack gets them the top passing offense in the league based off of 2023's results. They would have to rush, like 70 yards better per game. Okay, basically to be 60 or 70 yards better than I think it's 60 on the nose better per game. Like they'd have to rush the ball 60 yards per game better to be the top rushing offense. Okay, you're starting to see how that jump is not quite there. Like I believe in Joe Mixon. I wrote about him for Houston Football, and if you're subscribed, you've probably already read that. But I believe in Mixon. I believe this offensive line is going to be better. They're just going to run the football better. They were 22nd in rushing overall last year. And so we talked about, say, 15 more yards passing per game, which is not insignificant and not hard to do when you think about CJ Stroud's better. The offense is deeper. The offensive line should be better. Like it's pretty easy to see how you get those 15 yards. And then let's say there's maybe 30 yards better on the ground, like just 30 yards better on the ground. Okay. That puts the Texans about 12th in rushing yards per game if they got 30 yards better. Okay. So 30 yards better per game on the ground and 15 yards better per game in the air. And that checks out to about 765 more yards. Okay. And I'm not doing this math off the top of my head. I got a calculator on the other screen. I'm smart. I'm not that smart. Okay. The Texans had 5,820 yards last year. So if we added that to what they did last year, they'd end up with 6,585. So if they just averaged 15 more yards passing per game and 30 more yards rushing per game, they'd go to 6,585. Well, that would put them 4th in the NFL. And those are modest jumps. I mean, look, Texans improved 10 spots in the rushing attack and improve, 4 spots in the passing attack. That's a modest jump. Like it kind of demonstrates how difficult what Daniel Jeremiah talked about is going to be. It's not going to be easy to be a top 3 offense. You're going to have some really lopsided games where you just continue to pour it on to teams. I mean, the Dolphins had some of those over the course of the season. The number 2 offense in total yards, the San Francisco 49ers had that, and certainly so did the Lions. So you're going to have that. And naturally, with a tougher schedule, you may not always have that opportunity. You'll play a couple of games that are a little bit closer from that standpoint because your schedule is a little bit more difficult. So you got to take care of the bad teams when the bad teams show up, when the teams with poor defenses give you that opportunity. And when you're blowing a team out, keep them down. I think about Cincinnati last year. The Texans had a nice lead. They let the Bengals back in. They let the Bengals all the way back in. You needed a field goal to finish that one up. Tampa Bay, you needed a last-second drive to win the game against the Buccaneers. The Indianapolis Colts at the end of the season. Like the ability to blow teams out certainly will show up from better offense with CJ Stroud, the adds to the wide receiver room, the Dalton Schultz coming back, Joe Mixon, and things like that. Healthy offensive line. The defense is going to help you out a lot too. 1, it's going to keep the opponent from scoring. And 2, it's going to get you the ball back a lot more often. How many times did we watch a team that was okay on offense, maybe bad on offense, kind of keep a drive alive, march down the field, and keep things going against the Texans over the course of the season, eat away some of that time that CJ Stroud and the offense were hoping to have in games. That won't happen. I believe the defense is going to be much better than it was a year ago. So lots to like about this offense, but it's no small task. I mean, they may have to be about 20 yards per game better in both rushing, 30 yards better per game in rushing, 20 yards better per game in passing, and that might still check them in right at that 4-3 spot. Top 3 is a lot of yards. There certainly exists the possibility. Could I bet on that probability? I would bet against the Texans ending up in the top 3. Just the schedule and how difficult it is going to lend itself to a couple of closer games over the course of the year. I mean, you're not going to blow out the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins late in the year if you're beating them. You're probably going to beat them, by about 10 points. If you're beating them 7 points, 3 points, 1 point, something like that. That's how you're going to beat those good teams. They've got to make hay early on in the season with some of the less impressive teams on their schedule if they want to be a top 3 offense. But I certainly believe it to be possible. And if Joe Mixon is as good as I believe he can be, and as he has been over the past couple of seasons, a significant jump in the rushing attack. And you think about those Shanahan tree offshoots from a rushing standpoint, the Jets, think about how putrid their offense was. Okay. The Jets were right there with the Texans in overall rushing, and they had a way worse offensive line situation and a way worse quarterback situation than the Texans. Okay. But they had a good defense that could get them the ball back, give them opportunities. All right. So the Texans are going to have a good defense, get them the ball back, give them the opportunities. And they're going to be in a way better situation than the Jets. Again, another offshoot type of offense from the Shanahan tree. And then you think about the Miami Dolphins. I mean, they ran the ball just about as good as anybody and then added to the running back position this offseason to give themselves some more opportunities to run the football. And of course, you had Tua slinging that thing around trying to get a big contract, Tyreek Hill trying to get a new contract as well. They were going to throw the ball quite a bit. Their defense, not as good. Okay. So they got a lot more opportunities offensively. You're really going to kind of strike the balance, you hope, if you're the Texans, between San Fran and Miami. San Fran could get the offense back. They were pretty efficient. Get the offense back the ball with their defense. They were pretty efficient on offense, and they poured it on to some poor teams over the course of the season to get those yards and those points over the course of the year. The Dolphins, it was more of their defense kind of, gave the other team an opportunity to hang around, so they had to keep scoring. And that's, again, where the rushing attack's going to come in. You get a lead, you get a 17-point lead, 21-point lead. Joe Mixon and company on the rushing attack, get it going, go get some first downs, run that clock, chew it out. Oh, hey, Joe and company had a 6-minute drive, then ended in a punt. That's okay. Give it back to the defense. They go eat some people, get you the ball back. You run the ball a little bit more, chew the clock, and then you start to see that rushing attack get better and better and better and better and better. And if that rushing attack makes a big jump, a top 10 rushing attack, a top 4, top 5 passing attack, you're in that top 3 overall. But it's tough to do. It's tough to do. I'd bet against it if I could. I don't know that it is likely, but it certainly is possible. And it's closer to possible than impossible for the Texans. Heck, everything for the Texans is closer to possible than impossible. What say you? Top 3 offense in the NFL in 2024 for the Houston Texans? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And find out everything you need to know about our friends at Platinum AC and Heating. They are the tops in the AC game. What the Dolphins are to passing offense, Platinum AC and Heating is to air conditioning. They will take care of you from repairs to replacements to that tune-up that gets your AC ready for these hot summer months. Platinum AC and Heating has everything for you. Call my guy Dwyane today. 832-777-3683 is the number. Put it in your phone. He's not going to let you sit in a hot house. When you need an AC guy, you need the AC guy, and that's Dwyane at Platinum AC and Heating. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait until we talk Texans again soon.